Hi everyone, Hervin here, and in this video I'm going to share 10 content creation lessons that I just learned from watching Gary Vee's old videos. Now, before diving in, let me explain. So I just recently started creating content here, and so I've been trying to dive deep into what are the best practices around creating content, how can I create content that's good. I've been pretty much just diving into the world of content creation, what makes content good, how to create a personal brand. And overall, I'm just somebody who's really obsessed about what works. And are there any frameworks that me as a new content creator, are there any frameworks that I can follow in order to, follow best practices, be successful as a content creator? And so one of the things that I thought of is why don't I go back? So for the past couple of weeks, I've been diving into just the big channels, like all of the people who are really big, just diving back into their first videos, their first content that they created to see are there any patterns? Is there anything that I can learn from back then? Because right now it just feels like, when I'm putting content out there, I just feel like either it's not that good or I don't know if I'm saying something that is going to be like relevant in the future. What topics do I speak about? Can I just speak freely about what I want? Do I have to there in marketing, for example, which is the world where I come from, if you are going to make an advertising campaign, you need to know exactly who the ad is going to be for and the niche that you're trying to target, the pain points that you're trying to solve. And so when it comes to content creation, is it similar? Do you have to create with the person that you're creating for in mind? Like, do the same frameworks that I learned from marketing apply here, and so on? And so I just wanted to see, has it been like for these big content creators, has it been like a planned out map where they sat down and they thought I'm going to end up speaking about all these things, so I'm going to start now, and it was kind of like pre-prepared, planned, like, and was it made like strategically where they knew exactly the audience that they were going to be speaking to, and they knew exactly what they were going to say and the message that they wanted to resonate, and so on? And so that they start out like that, very strategic. And so to answer all those questions, I've been going back to big channels, people who have massive followings, and just looking to see if there's anything to learn from their old content, like from the content they were putting in from the moment that they were starting out. And so I went into Gary Vee's channel, filtered by and so I could share my screen here. So I went here into Gary Vee's channel and I filter here by the oldest videos, and I watch here a ton of his oldest content. And I have here a few lessons that I want to share with you that I thought they were pretty interesting when watching his old content to see, where he comes from. So yeah, it's super interesting. I'm just going to dive into, I have 10 lessons that I want to share here with you. I'm going to dive right into them. So the first one being the fact that it's taken him 15 years to be where he's at. So right now he has 4 million followers, and you could see here, so 4.19 million followers. You see his last video, his first video was here from 15 years ago. And I'm thinking that this is not even his first video. I think he deleted his previous ones because he used to talk a lot about wine. And I think this is after the first video, once he kind of got over speaking about wine and so on. But you could see there 15 years ago, 15 years ago, 15 years ago. And so that's the first lesson right there. Whoops, let me pause here. Gary speaking. So the first lesson is that it's taking him a long time. You think about 15 years doing something intentionally and trying to get better at something for 15 years, where every day you're making a little bit of progress. And it's inevitable that you're going to end up at a you're going to develop many skills. You're going to end up very far if every video that you try and make, or if you just stick to it and just consciously trying to improve a little bit every time you do that for 15 years, you're going to end up just being in a much, you're going to end up far. And so the fact that he was posting 15 years ago, he was super early. And so that's the first lesson right there. It's, sometimes me, as I'm posting content, and I've been right now, I think I've made like 100 plus videos, 120 videos or something like that. And whether a mixture of shorts and a mixture of long form content like this. And nothing has happened. I have like 200 subscribers at the time that I'm making this. And so sometimes I think is it like quantity? Is it, and it is that's actually the next lesson, which is quantity. So he was uploading super regularly, even for back then. Back then, it wasn't common for people to just take this very seriously and upload content so often. And he had extremely good foresight, and he was uploading very regularly. And so that's one of the things there that I picked up, is the amount of quantity. And yeah, so right there, the other thing is the other lesson that I learned. So lesson number 3 is the repetition of the message. So if you listen to Gary Vee now, he always talks about positivity, business, technology trends. He tells stories about how well he was raised by his parents, by his mom. He talks about branding. He talks about social media platforms. But he was talking about all of that 15 years ago. So he's been beating this drum for 15 years. So this message, the repetition of the message has been, oh my God, like so insane. Like he's been at this for such a long time. And so anyway, that was really cool to see, the fact that you watch his old videos and he's still talking about the same thing, and looking at his new videos now, like he still has the same passion and same energy as he did 15 years ago, which is absolutely incredible. It's crazy that somebody can maintain that level of effort and commitment and consistency for such a long time, for 15 years. Lesson number 4 is that he was posting whatever he was interested in. And so I think that's one of the big key lessons here for maintaining longevity. So I think you're not going to be, for me, for example, the first 30 videos here that I've made in my channel have always been about like the niche so we have a company where we help dance studio owners with increasing enrollment. And the first 30 videos I've made, I'm like, dance studio, how to increase enrollment. And I'm like, man, how long can I talk about this before I started to get bored myself? Whereas like Gary Vee, he was posting all sorts of content, he used all sorts of different content around topics that he was very interested in, which is why I think he's lasted so long and he hasn't gotten bored of it, because these are things that he was interested in from the very beginning. I mean, he was talking about, I watched his first like 13 videos, and he was talking about technology, business trends, sports, music, happiness, brand, culture, just all of the news. And so that's the same kind of things that he's talking about today. And so it made me realize, wow, like he stuck to it for a really long time. He must be super passionate about these topics in order to keep talking about them for such a long time. The 5th lesson here is camera equipment. So Gary, for me, for example, right now I'm shooting this video off a webcam. I have here this microphone. I have here 2 key lights. And I, for the longest time, thought, I'm like, okay, if you want to create content, you got to invest in the equipment and so on. Gary was shooting content from his phone, was shooting content from it looks like a camera recorder or something like cam recorder. He was from his MacBook webcam. So he shot a lot of those initial videos from his computer, from the webcam of his computer, which is the quality, as you know, isn't that great. And so it made me think like, wow, he didn't really overthink this. He's just like turn on record and just start speaking. Like he did not overthink this at all. Same thing with the camera angles. And sometimes I worry for me, I'm like, does it look professional that I have like this bed right here, that I have this door behind me, and it's like, and this air filter, and like it, I don't have one of those like cool YouTuber backgrounds or something like that. And does that matter? Is that gonna be something I'm gonna get less views, or my videos don't look that professional? He did not care about this at all. Gary Vee was shooting videos from his couch, from laying in his bed. He was shooting videos in his office where there were people walking around with a mess in the back. Like he did not care about camera quality, and he didn't care about like looking professional and like the angle, making sure that you have here there's enough space between the frame, the shot is framed properly or something like that. Nothing. He just turned on record and just start speaking. So that's another lesson there, that he just kept doing it. Even if the camera equipment wasn't that great, he kept doing it. He tried different things. So he spoke about different topics. Again, all of the topics that he was interested in. It almost seemed like he wasn't willing to put himself in a box. He was just speaking out of things that he was just interested in. And that was really cool to see. He also tried different formats. So at the beginning, he was doing something where he was speaking for 2 minutes. Then he changed the content up. And then he had like a rant going on for a few minutes. So yeah, he was just mixing it up, just trying out different things. And that is one of the lessons that I can relate to when it comes to marketing. So if when it comes to marketing, we have this concept called A/B testing, right? Split testing. So you have one landing page and you have another landing page, and you're testing them out to see which one gets a better result. And usually what you want to do when it comes to marketing is you want to have two wildly different landing pages, if you will, or two wildly different angles, or two wildly different concepts that you're testing. Because if you're testing two different things but they're very, very, very similar, it's kind of hard to know if, like, it's hard to see it's hard to get a definitive answer of like what works or what doesn't, and so sometimes the results might be very close. Whereas like when you're trying two wildly different things, it's easy to see this one didn't work and this one worked, or this one worked way better than this one. And so that concept of testing out different things, and like he was trying different things out. I don't know if it was like a conscious thing or not, where he was trying different things out. But yeah, I mean, he would different formats to the content. He was speaking about different things, different topics. And so anyway, so that was something that I learned there, that he was just trying out different things, which is one of the reasons why I'm even making this content. This is the first time I'm venturing out of dance studio world, and so I've been making some content called the Daily Journal video series, where every day I come on and I document here our journey as we try and scale our company. And I've been doing this for 43 days. And, I wanted to speak about something differently. These are things that I am pretty much obsessed with. Like, what makes somebody successful? What are the frameworks for success? What are like the steps that somebody can take to be successful and so to me, I love to think about frameworks and to think about best practices so that I can have the best shot of being successful, if that's my goal, right? And so, but yeah, just success in general is something that I've been obsessed with for the longest time. And so, yeah, I just wanted to share this video here and speak about this. This is something completely new that I haven't done before, and I'm just taking a page here from Gary Vee, trying out different things. Lesson 8. So his high energy. So, and this seems like he was always this way. He came on and he was screaming and he was talking fast and he was like yelling and it's funny to see, but that's how he is now. And it's like, that's how he's been for the past 15 years. So that's consistency there. And, but yeah, the high energy that works. Obviously, that works on YouTube, that works on social media. When it comes to creating content, you got to be interesting somehow. And his personality was definitely, he had a like that charisma and ranty charisma type of thing going on for him, even really long ago. And so anyway, that's something that I learned from him there. Lesson number 9 is he was taking himself seriously, and he saw this as an opportunity, and he like went all in with it. And I'm not sure if he saw YouTubing as an opportunity or creating content as an opportunity where he's like, man, this is the future. I'm just gonna double down and I'm gonna do this, or if he was like, I find this fun, and so I want to keep doing it, and it just kind of let him down the path of he found it fun, he just kept doing it, and then eventually it ended up kind of snowballing. I can't even speak right now. Snowballing into the what it is today, 4 million. Like, I don't know if it was just fun, him following his curiosity, because how did he have like such a huge, insane foresight to know what was coming, and like that this would be such a huge thing? And I know, like, if you look at his his oldest videos, he had this eye for trends to see what was going to happen. But to know that he took it seriously and he doubled down on it, and he like bet on himself, and he like did this as a thing, like that's pretty crazy. It's crazy to see that he followed his intuition so well. I think that's what it is. I mean, I'm guessing that that's what it is, that he had this intuition that this was going to become a thing, and he followed it, and he took this idea seriously. And I'm saying that because even right now, me thinking that I'm making this video, this feels like a silly idea. Like, I'm speaking about 10 lessons that Gary Vee, that I got from watching Gary Vee's old content. Like, this feels silly in a way. Like, there's a part of me internally that feels like judges what I'm doing right now and thinks like, what are you doing? Why are you creating this type of content? Who's even going to see this? Why is this important? Why should you speak about this? And and it just, or yeah, it just feels silly. And I think about that a lot. Even like, think about Disney World, right? Disney World, which is an insanely big company, and they have a huge empire. It all started with a guy taking his ideas seriously for making a cartoon of a mouse, right? Like, how silly is that idea if you think about it? Like, I'm gonna draw a cartoon, and I'm gonna take that idea seriously. And so for me, I look at Gary's old content and how dedicated he was, how seriously he took it. And it's crazy. It's crazy that he did take it that seriously. And anyway, I mean, there's a part of you that you almost have to get over yourself, where you're feeling that you're making silly content, or that what you're saying doesn't matter. And you almost have to you do have to step out of your own comfort zone here and start to speak about things that you might feel like nobody's listening, especially right now. Literally nobody's listening, for me at least. And so, it's hard to take yourself seriously and take this seriously when you don't have any proof that this could be anything. And so the same thing for him, for Gary Vee. Like, he took something seriously that at that time, I'm not sure if he had any proof that it was going to be something big. Same thing for Walt Disney, where he took his his cartoons seriously. And I'm like, wow, that's incredible. That the fact that he took an idea that, if I were to get that idea where I would feel passionate about, I need to draw a cartoon about a mouse, I don't know if I would have pursued it with that much discipline and that much, I guess, seriousness. Like, he took it seriously, and he took a big bet on an idea that seemed very silly. And so, yeah, that's a huge lesson there. The last one is consistency. Obviously, this is a lesson that I have brought up here multiple times. The fact that he created content for 15 years, regularly published content, like, he uploaded content often, and he did not let up for 15 years, which is insane. Like, think about that. How Where would you be if you took your idea seriously, if you did it with discipline, if you committed, you went all in, you took a gamble on it, regardless of it, if it, of whether it feels, whether or not it feels silly to do your idea, you still go for it. Um, and you just, yeah, you hammer and you stay consistent at it for 15 years. That's gonna get you very far. And so those are all the 10 lessons that I have here that I learned from Gary Vee's content. I hope you've enjoyed this. Follow me, subscribe here if you like this type of videos. Leave me a comment down below so that you know if you enjoyed it or not. And yeah, just subscribe to the channel. It'll mean a lot to me right now that I have 200 subscribers. And I'll see you in the next video.